Imagine if Anakin Skywalker knew he was going to become Darth Vader. He just knew it. Like that was his destiny. He knew it. And it was like, how do I undo that?
Now, Chris, you have seen this movie twice. And did you,
Yes.
the most important question right off the bat, obviously, is everybody wants to know, do you have the popcorn cup? Did you get them? Did you get the?
Yeah, I do. Don't you see them? There's one here.
Oh,
There's
there it
one
is.
here. There's
Oh,
another
good.
one there. There's even another one like right there.
This is
That's
getting out of
from
hand. Now there
Regal.
are 3 of them.
And then my Shakespeare bust has the Dune. It's the prop replica of the mask.
Oh.
How many Dune popcorn buckets is too many? I don't know. I think I have 4.
There's never too many. You're good.
But
I'll tell you what.
the movie, this is pure cinema. This is a type of movie Hollywood can't make anymore. And Denis Villeneuve, because he financed it through international sources, wasn't necessarily a slave to the studio, to Warner Brothers, was able to put together an epic conclusion to Dune Part 1. Now, here's the thing. I'm in 2 minds about the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Movie's a 9.5 or 10 out of 10 as a movie. If you're a book fan, you're going to have nitpicks. I am a fan of the book. I read it when I was like 14 the first time. I've read it like 4 or 5 times. It's such an experience. The world building is so incredible that I'm missing things that aren't in the movie, but if you don't know they're not there, you don't miss it.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
I do have a lot of problems with it, but there's such nitpicks. I mean, I already have tickets to see it again on Thursday. But it's so good. I saw Ryan Kinnell's review and he raved about it. So the fact, and Ryan is, Ryan, how tough he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he loved it. I'm predisposed to like Dune because I'm a fan of the books, and I even liked the old David Lynch movie, even though it's for the effects of the time were not that great. But yeah, no, it's spectacular. You need to see it in IMAX. If you can see it IMAX 70 millimeter, do it.
Okay.
It's a cinematic experience. For me though, I'm like, God, the movie's 2 hours and 45 minutes. I wish it was 30 minutes or an hour longer because it's so epic in scale. Yeah.
Oh
but
my goodness.
Does time fly when you're watching it?
What's
or,
that?
Does time fly when you're watching it? Or do you actually feel like, here we go, it's still going?
No. I mean, there's certain things that are slow, but when you get to these payoff moments, and in particular, I don't know how to say this, but there's going to be some fire crotches in the audience from Austin Butler as Fade Routha. So Fade Routha, played by Sting in the David Lynch movie. Austin Butler in this movie is so insanely evil. He is the villain we wanted Kylo Ren to be. I think we all Kylo Ren is a bitch, let's be honest, right?
Right.
Soy boy, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Austin Butler as Fade Routha is so chilling. I mean, the movie is borderline R-rated for some of the violence. Like there's violence that happens off camera. If they just extend the frame, the things that you would, and they cut away quickly from things happening, there's a lot. So
I love violence.
You're gonna love Dune then. There's a lot of violence. There's a lot of violence. And it's here's the thing also, on a quick side note, we become so used to everything looks like Star Wars, right? When Star Wars came out, it was so far ahead of its time, so different, and then everyone copied it. So when you see a laser blast in a movie, it's just a ripoff of Star Wars. It's a blast that animates, right? What Dune did is it changed the language of science fiction. This is for adults. This is not for kids. I think kids might be depending on their age, probably be bored.
Okay.
And it's not like a happy victory, like hooray, because the character of Paul Atreides is actually based on JFK, John F. Kennedy. When the book came out in 1965, Frank Herbert hated JFK. I'll tell you why. Because he's this charismatic leader. He's super inspiring. He's really good looking. JFK might be, if you want to rate the president's a level of hot, which would be JFK to not, which probably be Biden and Nixon. Up there for hot is going to be JFK. So, but JFK also got us involved in Vietnam, and also got us involved in what's turned into America's Forever War, right? He was a charismatic leader that led America down a path that Vietnam is considered, not a great part of our history, right?
Right.
And so this is who Paul Atreides is based on. It's a warning about charismatic leaders. He's no white savior as people criticize who've never read the book. And this
Right.
is all about the dangers of, because I personally think all politicians are evil, honestly. I think if you
Oh
want
yeah.
that kind of power, like
I
I
agree.
Sure.
don't trust them. So
I agree.
that's what this movie's about. I hope people get that message out of it. And it's not like a super like, yay, we blew up the Death Star. I feel like Star Wars has not aged up with audiences, meaning Star Wars is for children and it's gotten progressively dumber. Progressively dumber. And you look at like even the Harry Potter films, whatever you think of Harry Potter, the books and films, they aged up with the audience. They got more adult and they got more serious. Whereas the first few films and books, they're for kids. And then it gets more and more young adult and then more adult. Star Wars has never done that. It's actually gotten dumber from the first two films to what they produced. And what Dune is, it's Star Wars for adults. It's politics. It's very influenced. Game of Thrones was actually influenced by Dune, and George R.R. Martin has talked about that. So there's my Dune rant. Sorry, I went too long.
I am excited because I loved the first Dune movie. Loved it.
Mhm.
I didn't read the book, so I'm not going to have all those little critiques and stuff
Right.
with the second. So I can't wait. That sounds
I
How's
can't
amazing.
wait to hear your
Zendaya in
review.
it?
I hope you do a review, Melanie.
Okay.
Of-
All
yeah.
right.
Do a review.
Was there a original Dune movie? This is a remake of
Yeah.
Dune,
Well,
right?
it's based on the novel.
Okay.
There was a Dune movie in 1984 directed by David Lynch.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Then starring Kyle MacLachlan. Then there was a Dune miniseries on the Sci-Fi Channel. It's like 6 hours, and that came out in 2000. It's okay. And then now, of course, Denis Villeneuve's Dune, which is broken. It's basically one movie in two parts because it picks up directly after Dune Part 1 ends. It's like just the movie keeps going.
Cool.
So
Awesome.
I can't wait for you all to see it. Like I'm dying to hear other people's opinions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe
Ooh,
we'll all need to go out and get our own popcorn buckets.
All right.
How are all the actors?
Is-
Because like Zendaya is so overhyped nowadays. Like, is she actually good in
Right.
it, or is she just for, like
She's
5
the weak.
minutes?
In my opinion, she's the weakest part of the movie. If you ask me, they
Okay.
I don't want to spoil anything. She's not a girl boss. She's very like her character in the book is she's a warrior and she's in love with Paul. In this, she's in love with Paul, but she's skeptical of
Oh.
him. And that's not a part of the book. And that's, I think, the biggest change. We did a live stream yesterday. I have a new show called Versus, which is all about it's my version of FNT or Tuesday Night's Main Event, whatever. Group show, we all talk. And I had Nerd Cookies on there and Comic Book Girl 19, Danica. They're like Dune scholars, both of them. And they had issues, probably more issues than I did. So, but I think it's one of those movies you want to see more than once because even I walked away after the first time I saw it. I kind of had to sit with my thoughts and let it germinate, and percolate in my mind. But there's so many layers to it. You may want to read the book, Melanie, after.
Okay.
There's a lot of religious undertones.
Very cool.
And
Okay.
it's really interesting, that aspect of it. So, because
Well-
Paul Atreides is like a Christ-like figure, and he
Mhm.
resists it. The way I describe Dune to maybe someone who's a Star Wars fan, imagine if Anakin Skywalker knew he was going to become Darth Vader. He just knew it, like that was his destiny. He
Oh.
knew it, and it was like, how do I undo that? How do I stop that? from
Okay.
happening? How do I prevent
Okay.
this terrible fate? Like I'm destined to be this Messiah. How do I stop it from happening? And so
Interesting.
it's really yeah. People are saying, yeah, Paul Atreides is basically Anakin Skywalker.
I
and-
love Anakin too. He's my favorite. So
This is like a better version of Anakin, if you ask me.
Ooh, all
I
right.
don't want to. I've said too much. I've said too
Okay,
much.
okay.
Stop
I
it.
can't wait to watch it.
Okay, cool.
Well, these it's getting incredible reviews.
Yeah.
Over on Rotten Tomatoes, 97%, which is very, very high on the overall, biggest movies in history scale.
Yeah.
With the likes of Aliens and E.T. and the Terminator. Mad Max Fury Road, Empire Strikes Back. It's at 97%. Where those, it's in pretty rare company. So we'll see kind of what happens. And really, you've seen it twice. Is there any like DEI stuff, or is it just like it's just a great story?
Well, here's what's weird is for the first Dune, there is a character that they did gender and race swap because Denis was told by the studio, you have to diversify the cast. I mean, look, there's Asian representation, right? Jason Momoa. There was a character named Dr. Yui in the first Dune Part 1, but there's a character named Liet Kynes that they gender and race swapped. It's fine. I prefer Max von Sydow's performance in the 84 Dune, but whatever. But everything seems organic because really Dune, the book, was influenced quite a bit by Lawrence of Arabia, which is actually based on a true story. You should see that film with Peter O'Toole. Epic. I've seen it in a theater when I was a kid. It's an epic scale. Dune kind of came from that, and also the fact that Frank Herbert was an ecologist. He was a journalist who studied ecology, and he wrote this novel that there were like 6 novels written by Frank Herbert. They did 5 sequels, and it's just there's so many layers to it. It really is. I mean, it's Game of Thrones in space with Anakin Skywalker as the lead. So it's so much smarter and begs so much discussion. I mean, we're going to be talking about this movie for years, and this is the thing that bugs me a little bit. They set up a Dune Part 3.
Oh, wow.
I don't know that they needed to do that, but there's a script that already exists. They're going to make it. I don't know when they're going to make it because it takes place like in the book, the Part 3, the novel, which is Dune Messiah, takes place about 15 years later. So it's very different story. It's the fallout of events from the first film.
Wow.
I cannot say, I don't want to say any spoilers if
Okay.
you haven't read the book or even seen those other movies. I just am dying to hear what other people think.